Hey, I'm Ben Hoover. We begin tonight with some breaking news. An arrest in connection to the death of Kershaw County teenager Briana Rabon. 21-year-old Stephen Kelly was taken into custody shortly before 6 as we take a look at Briana Rabon right there. Here's the suspect tonight, Kelly. He's being held in the Kershaw County Detention Center where he is awaiting a bond hearing. Kershaw County Sheriff Jim Matthews joins us now live by phone. And Sheriff Matthews, how did you get how'd you arrest Stephen Kelly?
Well, I got to start off by saying I don't hesitate a bit to say that God answered a lot of people's prayers today, mine included. Throughout this investigation, my investigators have been keeping me apprised of their progress, and today things started looking very good. They got a search warrant for Stephen Kelly's car, and they brought it to the sheriff's office, and he voluntarily came to the office. SLED worked on the car, got a lot of evidence out of it. And we interviewed, my investigators interviewed Stephen Kelly, and after partway into the interview, he decided he needed to talk to a lawyer. But we're very confident we have the right guy. We have a lot of good forensic evidence. I'd love to tell everybody everything we have, but I don't want to jeopardize the prosecution of the case.
So he is cooperating, or he is not? What has he told you?
He talked to our investigators initially, and his stories bounced around, and then I guess he figured out that he was getting caught in his lies, and he asked to talk to a lawyer, and that's the last we spoke with him.
Do you have enough to say what a motive would be in this case?
Not at this point. We don't have information to that extent right now.
Did Kelly and Briana Rabon know each other?
Yes, they did.
How would you explain their relationship?
I don't know. I don't think it was boyfriend girlfriend. I just think it was they were maybe friends in school or acquaintances. They didn't live that far from each other.
We know that Briana Rabon recently graduated from Lugoff High School last year. Was he a student there? This Kelly suspect, Stephen Kelly?
He was. Yeah, I think he was. He was 21 years old, so he'd been out of school for a while. But I'm relatively certain that he was a student there, yes.
Briana Rabon was found on a remote dirt road in the rear area of Heggs Creek subdivision. You said that you told our Jack Kinsey there was no sign of struggle. Do you believe that she was killed there where her body was found or somewhere else and taken there?
We don't know that right now. But like I told Jack earlier, there really was not much of any indication that there had been a struggle at the scene where her body was found.
And we've been reporting that you were looking for a person or a group of people, or more than one person in this case. Do you think there will be more arrests, or do you believe that your suspect, Stephen Kelly, acted alone?
At this point, we don't have any indication that there's anybody else. That's not to say that something might not develop later, but at this point, we think we have the sole person who did this.
And you also mentioned, you told our Jack Kinsey that her car was found at the Waffle House. That we're looking at that Waffle House right now in some video that we have about 5 miles from the scene. And were you able to get surveillance video from that restaurant to help you make this arrest today?
We got surveillance video from businesses in the area and in the neighborhood that adjoined the area where her body was found.
We also spoke with Briana Rabon's mother earlier this week, describing her as full of life, happy-go-lucky, and a hard worker. I mean, I would imagine when you hear something like that, your heart just goes out to her family, Sheriff.
It does. It's. I called them right when I found out and told them, and they were pretty much stunned by it, but very, very happy and very grateful. I might add that had it not been for the assistance of SLED on this, we wouldn't be where we are today. It's a combination of their excellent forensics people and just the hard work of our criminal agents as well as my narcotics guys who just went after every lead they could find until they they got to the point where they could get the search warrant and then ultimately make the arrest.
Sheriff, you said her family was stunned to hear. Are you saying that they were stunned to hear that you arrested Stephen Kelly? Do they know him?
I don't know if they knew him or not. When I told Brianna's mother that we had an arrest and who it was, she didn't recognize the name right off the bat, and she was kind of quiet. And I guess it hadn't sunk in, and then she was just so grateful. And I was actually calling her in advance of my two investigators going to her house and giving her a few more details.
Sheriff, I'm going to let you go, but do we know, was an object or some sort of instrument used to strangle Briana Rabon, or do you believe that the suspect did it with his own hands?
Well, that's a detail that I would love for everybody to know about, but I don't think it would be helpful to the prosecution of the case, so I'm probably not going to comment on that.
Speaking of the prosecution of the case, the picture that was taken at the scene by some bystander, you asked for that to be taken down from social media. Do you know if that's happened?
Well, you know, once these things get put out on the internet, it's hard to call it back. I know some people have removed it from their devices, but I seriously doubt that it's off the internet.
Sheriff Matthews, thanks so much for joining us tonight with this breaking news, this development in this case that they made an arrest of Stephen Kelly, a 21-year-old, that they say that they got a search warrant of his car and that he surrendered earlier this evening, and right now he's not giving too much information to investigators, but we'll continue to follow the story for you throughout the weekend and bring you the latest. Again, he will be up for a bond hearing shortly. We'll be sure to update you once we know when that will happen. Rabon's family reported her missing to Kershaw County authorities earlier this week, and shortly after, deputies found her car at a Waffle House on Highway 601 in Lugoff. Again, as we take a look at the suspect in this case tonight, now Briana Rabon's body was found Wednesday along a dirt road behind the Heggs Creek subdivision in Elgin. The sheriff says that evidence collected from her car and from where her body was found led them to make the arrest today. Stephen Kelly, we have learned, will go before a magistrate tomorrow morning for an initial court appearance where he will be notified of his bond hearing in General Sessions Court. Sheriff Matthews also plans to hold a news conference tomorrow morning at 10 from the Kershaw County Sheriff's Office. We'll bring you more information on that tomorrow on WIS. Memorial services have been finalized for Briana Rabon. A visitation will be held tomorrow from 4 to 6 at Powers Funeral Home in Lugoff. The funeral will be held on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. at Sawney's Creek Baptist Church in Ridgeway. Make sure you stay with WIS for continued updates on this breaking story over the weekend. When we're not on the air, we'll update you online at WISTV.com, also on your News 10 mobile app.